The Avengers find themselves on some weird-ass stranded planet called Battleworld, a creation of a superpowered cosmic being named the Beyonder who has mashed different pieces of worlds together. In order to return everyone back to Earth, Tony Stark and Loki worked on making a new Bifrost. They managed to obtain everything they needed, including the Sword of Heimdall. Still, without Heimdall, only one person can use it without ripping a hole in the cosmos: Dr. Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme himself. Reports came in that they spotted someone matching his description in the old Westland. Like everything else in Battleworld, Westland is fucked up and unpredictable. Hawkeye is displeased with having to lead the team to search for Doctor Strange in the Westland. Accompanying him are the Wasp, Loki, and Vision. When they arrived in town, Vision was excited to find people who had domesticated dinosaurs as a mode of transportation in these parts. Hoping for clues, they walk into a bar where Hawkeye asks locals for Doctor Strange's sightings. Everyone at the bar has a weird look as they awkwardly stare at them. One of the locals recognizes Vision as a robot and tells the others to take him out before it takes them down. They struggle to take him down, who makes himself permeable, and their attacks just pass through him. The locals quickly turn their attention to the others being colleagues with Vision, to which they easily take them down with their powers. Despite beating them all down, the locals refuse to give up and continue fighting when suddenly, Doctor Strange shows up and breaks up the fighting while shooting a gun in the air. He then vouches for them and pulls them outside to talk. Doctor Strange explains that he wandered in the wilderness when he first arrived in Battleworld. Eventually, he came upon this town and decided to stay when he discovered they needed a doctor. When he asks what they're doing in his town, Wasp explains that Tony Stark is building a device that will take everyone back to Earth. When she was about to explain that they needed him, Doctor Strange quickly refused, claiming that he couldn't leave at this time. He then takes them to the infirmary, where he has several people in bed severely injured. He explains that they wouldn't survive a day without him and refuses to abandon them. Wasp suggests using his power, but Doctor Strange claims that he couldn't risk using the Eye of Agamotto, worried that his magic would draw the attention of dangerous elements down on these defenseless people. When Vision recognizes the injuries to be sustained in a heated battle, they suddenly hear screaming from outside and discover an army of robots attacking the town. Realizing the danger the town is in, the Avengers quickly scramble to action. Vision quickly wipes out most of them with his powers while Hawkeye shoots at them from the rooftops as he dodges their attacks. Loki uses his powers to sneak up from behind while Wasp attacks from the front lines. Hawkeye alerts everyone that another wave of robots is approaching from the east. Doctor Strange explains that they won't be able to hold them off forever and suggests that someone fetch the sheriff out in the desert. He worries that with robots everywhere, it may be difficult to reach her, to which Vision volunteers to do it. Hawkeye provides cover from the air, shooting at robots while dodging their attacks. When a robot attacks a local girl, Hawkeye quickly runs to her rescue and stabs it with an arrow. Suddenly, he hears ticking and pushes the girl to safety before it explodes. The others quickly checked on Hawkeye, who they shockingly discover has turned blind. Oh shit, that's not good, especially for an archer where his eyesight and aim is everything. While Wasp provides first aid, Doctor Strange claims it could be days or weeks before he gets his eyesight back. As soon as the robots return, Loki stands his ground to stop them, thrusting his staff into the ground to freeze them. He claims that if it were any other day, he would have no qualms about letting a town be run down. But today, he is an Avenger and will protect the people as a hero would. Wasp leads the blind Hawkeye through a ladder he usually uses, but he claims he is useless in a fight without his eyes. She explains that although he has lost his eyesight, he still has his ears, but Hawkeye insists it's impossible. Feeling sorry for himself, Wasp claims he can sit this one out and leave it to the others. When Wasp runs to help on the battlefield, she suddenly sees arrows flying, which Hawkeye is thrilled to have shot even without his eyesight. Meanwhile, Vision searches for the sheriff, but is dumbfounded when the tracks suddenly stop out of nowhere. Suddenly, Vision gets attacked from behind, and mysterious assailants put him in a bag. He tries to explain that he is an Avenger from Earth, which later reveals that Rocket and Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy were the ones who ambushed him. Rocket explains that they will have to pick Vision apart for spare parts with their ship damaged. Groot wonders if this is right, but Rocket insists this is their only choice. Vision breaks free and talks to them, having recognized both as Guardians of the Galaxy members. Vision reveals to understanding of Groot forcing Rocket to give up on scrapping him for parts. Vision suspects that a device must be responsible for the robots attacking the town, to which Rocket claims it's a Kree conquest hive. Rocket explains that the Kree usually drops one on an unsuspecting planet and starts pumping out attack bots to beat down the locals. Suddenly, a mysterious rider shows up later, revealing to be the sheriff in town and also happens to be Dr. Jane Foster, more known as Calamity Jane Foster. She claims that when she saw Rocket and Groot kidnap Vision, she decided to rescue him. Rocket explains that everything is good now, and they are on the same side. Foster claims that now that they're here, they may stand a chance against it, later revealing to be a rabid T-Rex chasing after her. They tried attacking it, but their weapons were ineffective, and even Groot was pushed against a wall. Vision approaches Groot with a plan where they build a giant cage to hold the rampaging dinosaur. Foster realizes what they are planning and quickly lures the dinosaur to chase them directly into the trap. With the dinosaur contained, Foster asks Vision why he is looking for her. After hearing about the trouble in town, Foster and the others checked all the space junk pulled into Battleworld. Rocket claims that the robot hordes attacking town must have come from here. Vision suddenly informs them that he is detecting an immense energy signature nearby, leading the others to where it is. Out of nowhere, an explosion occurs from a distance, and a giant robot emerges. Rocket explains that they may have a chance facing against an ordinary robot factory, but when faced against the Hive Queen, they don't stand a chance. Suddenly, the Hive Queen flies into town, intent on destroying everything in the area. With the sudden appearance of the Hive Queen, Doctor Strange leads the civilians to safety while the others fend off the robots. Hawkeye struggles to find his targets because of the overwhelming noise of the Hive Queen. Wasp asks him to picture a clock, to which she will then give directions to where he will shoot his arrows. Unable to do anything to the Hive Queen, Wasp guides Hawkeye to attack the small robots instead. With people holed up in the infirmary, the Avengers hold their ground to defend it. Rocket claims that they would need an army to stand up to the Hive Queen. Even then, they may not even be able to defeat it. That said, Foster claims she knows where they can find an army, to which they then release the T-Rex as reinforcement. Foster and the others regroup with the Avengers, to which she was surprised to see Loki now a part of the Avengers. Rocket claims they need to focus on the Queen, as it will continue to make attack bots. As they struggle to defeat the Hive Queen, Wasp suddenly has a brilliant idea. With Hawkeye's last arrow, she uses her growing disc to turn it into a giant artillery that blew up the Hive Queen in a massive explosion. With the battle over, Loki lounges by the bar when Foster hands him a drink. He initially thought she did something to it, but she explains that she chose to trust him, given that the Avengers do. She did warn him that, should he fall out of line and betray them, she would rain down the wrath of Jane Foster all over him. Doctor Strange then reveals that Hawkeye has nearly recovered his eyesight. Hawkeye thanks Wasp for helping him go through stuff when he was down and feeling useless. Doctor Strange thanks them for helping save the town, to which Foster claims that now that the people are safe, she and Doctor Strange can go back with them to the Avengers Tower. Rocket complains that he and Groot are still stuck in Battleworld despite it all. He is suddenly overjoyed when he discovers that there are bounties in Battleworld, to which Foster confirms that there have been a few straggler fugitive robots running around. With Foster hanging up being sheriff, Rocket decides to take up the position. Later, the Avengers and Doctor Strange take a few dinosaurs and return to the Avengers Tower. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time. We begin with some weird-ass cosmic entity named the Beyonder, who came out of nowhere and took pieces of different worlds to build his Battleworld. He also pulled different characters from those places, including the Avengers, calling it an experiment. After convincing Loki to join them, they tried to use the Asgardian Bifrost to send everyone home, but unfortunately, it didn't work. Loki and Tony Stark attempted to rebuild the Bifrost, but unfortunately, they were missing an important piece of technology, or knowledge, to make it work. They believe this missing piece is probably in the one place they haven't found yet, the Beyonder's headquarters. That said, the Avengers scattered to search for Beyonder's base, but they couldn't find much of shit. Tony gets frustrated when he struggles to do any work with a makeshift lab. Captain America tries to check on him, but Tony pretty much tells him to fuck off. Cap refuses to be criticized and asks him to find him when he's done being childish about it. Tony continues to complain about Captain America while repairing his armored suit. The wall breaks down from nowhere, and Ares, the Prince of War, shows up. Ares then quickly lunges at Tony with an axe, but skillfully dodges him. With just pointing at it, Tony summons pieces of his armor until he fully transforms into Iron Man. He quickly calls out for the Avengers, but discovers the signal is jammed and suspects it must be Ares' doing. Iron Man is confident that he can handle him on his own. He tries attacking him with his Unibeam, but Ares knocks him down when it malfunctions. When Ares is about to finish him off, Captain America arrives at his rescue and knocks him down with his shield. Ares was offended when Iron Man suspects he must have come from Asgard, like Thor. Ares declares that Asgardians are disgusting, uncultured beasts, and claims they ain't shit compared to refined Olympians, like him. In his frustration, he grabs Iron Man and throws him into the ceiling, but Captain America tosses his shield at him, bringing him to his knees. They ask Ares why he is attacking them, to which he explains that it's because they are in Battleworld, an entire planet dedicated solely to war. Out of nowhere, the wall explodes, and Crimson Widow, MODOK, and the Absorbing Man show up. Crimson Widow and MODOK quickly attack them, but Captain America deflects it. Ares charges at Captain America while the Absorbing Man attacks him from a distance with a ball and chains. Iron Man covers for Captain America and tells MODOK he isn't known to work well with others. MODOK explains that he doesn't, except when it's to destroy the Avengers. When Iron Man's Unibeam attack malfunctions, he gets blasted by MODOK instead. Captain America suggests making a tactical retreat, to which they escape through a window with Iron Man carrying him. Ares complains at Crimson Widow, claiming he could have won without their interference, but she tells him to stop bitching. Although they manage to get outside, Iron Man's suit malfunctions and can barely stay afloat with a faulty thruster. Crimson Widow catches up to them and pulls them down from the air. Captain America nearly falls and barely hangs on to the grappling hook that Crimson Widow used to pull them down. When he climbs back up, Absorbing Man attacks him, but he skillfully dodges. Ares sneaks up and attacks Captain America, but he barely dodges it. When Captain America knocks Ares down, Crimson Widow and MODOK attack him from behind. Iron Man rushes to his side, but Crimson Widow zaps and knocks him out. With Iron Man and Captain America unconscious, they report back to their leader. Captain America and Iron Man later wake up in a containment cell when the Beyonder suddenly reveals himself behind Ares and the others attacking them. Without uttering a word, he pulls Iron Man aside and leaves Captain America behind with Ares and the others. Captain America asks them what the Beyonder wants with him, to which Absorbing Man reveals that they were only ordered to capture Iron Man and nothing about him, which they insist will be keeping company. Captain America claims that 4 of them against him unarmed isn't fair, but he still manages to escape them. Despite being outnumbered, Captain America proves he is better at close combat. He uses Absorbing Man as a shield, but it doesn't seem to work since the enemies have no problem with shooting their own. Their attacks ricochet and bounce off the walls when they shoot at him. Ares furiously attacks Captain America with an axe, but he uses Absorbing Man as a shield. He inadvertently cuts off Absorbing Man's hand, which Captain America uses to escape the room. Captain America quickly searches for Iron Man, but discovers the comms still don't work. Meanwhile, Beyonder takes Iron Man to his lab to convince him to work with him. He claims they are in his citadel, where he overlooks Battleworld. When Tony asks his reason for creating Battleworld, Beyonder admits that he is in constant pursuit of knowledge and to satisfy his innate curiosity. They quickly argue over differences in opinions, to which Tony explains that Beyonder didn't create anything and simply took things apart. Beyonder claims that men like them stand upon the shoulders of giants. When Tony claims that his greatest achievement is his armor, Beyonder disagrees and claims they both know his true achievement. Beyonder claims that he knows why Tony stays up all night, hoping to finally find the greatest achievement, fearing that he'd one day be forgotten if he didn't. To win him over, Beyonder removes the restraints on Tony, claiming to want to talk as equals. He then asks to work with him and claims he has much more to offer him than technology. He then pulls out an orb that he claims can make cells regenerate indefinitely, making anyone immortal. Tony refuses to believe it, claiming it to be impossible, but the Beyonder insists it's true and tells him to imagine everything he could do or create over time. Tony sternly refuses to work with him, but Beyonder explains that he would be working with him, not for him. Beyonder then promises to return the universe to how it was and undo Battleworld in exchange for Tony working with him. He believes that their combined knowledge would reshape reality as they see fit. Beyonder then hands him the Immortality orb, convincing Tony to agree. Captain America later walks in on them and tries to convince Tony to leave, but he refuses. He explains that they may have been wrong about the Beyonder all this time, and claims that with the Immortality orb, he could change everything. When he brushes him off, Captain America claims that this isn't like him to accept what the Beyonder offers. He tries to talk him down, but Iron Man is dead set on fighting Captain America for it. He then quickly blasts Captain America with a unibeam attack and pushes him against the wall, breaking it down. Captain America manages to wrestle the ball out of Iron Man's hands, but when he picks up the orb, he is immediately tempted by it. Iron Man quickly blasts it away from him and picks it back up. Coming to his senses, Captain America tries to reason with Iron Man, but he grows hostile towards him. When Captain America slowly approaches him, Iron Man warns him to stop while aiming his weapons at him. Captain America claims he only wanted to talk and pretended to lower his shield, but when Iron Man lowered his guard, he threw it at him, dropping the orb. He tries to get Iron Man to see reason, but he brushes him aside and escapes with the orb. Captain America stops him by throwing his shield at one of his thrusters. Iron Man gets furious at him and attacks him with a unibeam before he lunges and wrestles him for it. Beyonder is thrilled to see close friends fight over it and intends to watch things unfold. He admits this wasn't originally planned, but claims that pursuing knowledge takes one to unexpected places. Ares claims they would be happy enough to destroy either or both, but Beyonder claims that he doesn't want them to until he sees where this goes. The others grow tired of seeing Iron Man and Captain America fight each other and beg the Beyonder to let them in on the action. Still, Beyonder refuses, claiming to want to see who is willing to do what is necessary. He explains that this is exactly what Battleworld is for. Captain America tries to run with the orb, but Iron Man ferociously chases after him, attacking Cap every chance he gets. Crimson Widow claims that these senseless mind games have gone on too long, to which Beyonder then agrees they end it. The enemies are excited to get the chance finally, but when Absorbing Man tries to attack them, Iron Man attacks him with a unibeam, revealing their internal fighting to be only a ruse. Beyonder was surprised that he didn't see it coming, to which Iron Man claims he isn't anywhere near as smart as him. Iron Man then unleashes everything he has to attack the Beyonder and have the building collapse on him. Captain America asks Iron Man if he got what he needed, to which he explains that he already hacked and downloaded the schematics of the orb, including the code to power up the Bifrost. Having no need for the orb anymore, Captain America throws it at them, and it gets lodged up in MODOK's nose. The others then start fighting against each other for possession of the orb. The Beyonder crawls out from the debris unscathed from the collapse and claims that no one gets the better of him, declaring himself to be the greatest intelligence. Having been outsmarted by Iron Man, Beyonder is so displeased at the others that he sends them back where they came from, except for Ares. He claims that he's always liked Ares simply as a being that exists to destroy things. He explains that it would become useful for what comes next. With his experiment nearly over, and having learned so much from Battleworld, it all leads to one indisputable conclusion: that the Avengers must die. Meanwhile, Iron Man claims that Captain America hit him pretty hard for a fake fight. Cap asks Iron Man if, at any point, he was tempted. He claims he was indeed tempted, for with all that immortality, he could learn all the knowledge in the universe, but it wouldn't teach him how to use it wisely. Back at the Avengers Tower, Tony rebuilds Beyonder's orb using the schematics he got from him and claims that they are finally ready to return home with it. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time. Following the bullshit from the last episode, Iron Man and Captain America's escape from the Beyonder, Tony Stark has completed the Bifrost that will take everyone home using the information they obtained from Beyonder's Citadel. For it to work, they will need to safely deliver it to its proper location and ask everyone to stay on the move to draw the enemy's attention. With everything ending, Dr. Foster worries that shit could easily turn for the worse, especially when everything finally comes down to this. Tony explains that sometimes the moment chooses them. Suddenly, Doctor Strange claims to have sensed something ominous, to which Loki agrees. Out of nowhere, a thunderstorm quickly approaches the Avengers' tower, which they assume must be the Beyonder. As the sand swallows up the entire building, the Avengers escape by ship, to which Iron Man then asks Vision and Ms. Marvel to secure the Bifrost. Falcon claims they must have escaped the Beyonder, seeing the storm isn't moving, but Hawkeye remains skeptical. From within the storm, they see a shadowy figure emerge where Ares leads an army of Ghost Riders against them. When they ferociously chase after them, Black Widow suggests they start shooting, but they appear quite resilient. Ares is pissed that the Avengers are planning to take away Battleworld from him, an entire planet destined only for war. When Ares throws his axe at their ship, Black Widow shoots back at him. The Ghost Riders slowly board their ship using their chains to latch onto it, to which the Avengers quickly fend them off. Hawkeye jokes about how Iron Man is driving so slowly that even his grandmother drives faster than his slow ass. Iron Man was about to respond when he saw an enemy catapult drive before them and fired a fiery payload at them. He quickly maneuvers the ship to dodge it, to which Hawkeye gets thrown off the platform, but Black Widow quickly pulls him back. While she slowly helps him back on the ship, a chain latches onto them and pulls them off the ship, surrounded by the enemy. Although they remain unscathed, the enemy quickly approaches them, to which Falcon comes to their rescue, but a Ghost Rider catches him off guard and clips one of his wings. Hawkeye shows off by shooting the Ghost Rider as it is escaping without looking at it, which impresses Falcon. Even Vision gets thrown overboard while Ares jumps aboard the ship and attacks Captain America. Ares claims that Cap would make a fine warrior if he'd stop being a bitch and embrace the glory of battle. Captain America claims that greatness doesn't come from fighting, but from finding a way to stop it. Although he managed to disarm Ares, a Ghost Rider restrained one of his arms with a chain while Ares pushed him overboard. With only Iron Man and Ms. Marvel left on the ship, Tony claims his sensors are picking up something fast approaching them. He later recognizes it as the Beyonder and asks Ms. Marvel to take the wheel while he handles the enemy boss. Beyonder flies towards their ship and pushes Iron Man against the wall, furious at him for not only intervening with his so-called experiment, but also rejecting his offer for immortality. Beyonder declares that he will destroy everything Iron Man built, starting with him. Beyonder then crushes his armor with his powers while Kamala struggles to drive the ship, forcing it to crash in the desert. Beyonder reveals that he has caught on to their plan to use the Bifrost to return everyone, but Iron Man denies it. He claims that it was his idea to use the Bifrost to build Battleworld, and that Iron Man was only stealing his idea to undo his experiment. That said, he orders Ares to destroy the Bifrost, but when he is about to do it, they discover it was merely a decoy. Iron Man then changes armor and flies away, to which Beyonder chases after him. Left behind, Ares demands someone to fight him, which Captain America happily obliges with the rest of the Avengers. Meanwhile, the others make their way to Beyonder's arena, where Iron Man tells them where to position the Bifrost, which was shrunk with one of Wasp's shrinking disc. Once Ant-Man reverts it to its original size, Foster tells Doctor Strange and Loki to activate it with their combined powers. Suddenly, Black Panther climbs up a wall and tells Captain Marvel that he senses something is approaching. Out of nowhere, an army of Ghost Riders drive up the cliff, to which Black Panther calls the Avengers to assemble. With the place under siege, he asks them to create a perimeter around the Bifrost to protect it at all costs. The Avengers form a strong defensive line in the face of danger. While the others are buying them time, Doctor Strange and Loki continue working on the Bifrost. When a Ghost Rider is about to attack Wasp, Captain Marvel catches the chain it was attacking Wasp with and throws him off the cliff. While she heads off to defeat another one, she asks Wasp to rally the others. Wasp is initially hesitant, but is later moved when Captain Marvel explains that she is not only an Avenger, but also a leader. Doctor Strange explains that the Bifrost needs to be started up in a precise order, to which Loki claims that should one of the enemies interrupt it, they'd never get home. Foster tells them to focus on the task and joins the others in battle to defend it. With the enemy's overwhelming numbers, even the Hulk gets caught off guard and gets thrown off the cliff. As the enemy closes in on them, Iron Man arrives and clears out as many enemies as possible. Out of nowhere, Beyonder catches up to him, who wears his version of an armored suit, and the two clash against each other. Beyonder is furious at him for trying to destroy his Battleworld and declares that he will destroy everything Iron Man loves, including his world and friends. Iron Man sneaks up from behind and attacks him with a superpowered unibeam, but Beyonder withstands it and chases after him. Beyonder pushes Iron Man against a wall and continuously punches his armor. Iron Man breaks free and attacks him, but it is ineffective against the Beyonder's armor. Beyonder claims that Iron Man's technology is weak and then pulls out a thunderbolt to attack him. Iron Man quickly fires missiles at him, but Beyonder still manages to throw his weapon at Iron Man, piercing his armor. Although forced to his knees, Iron Man claims he still has one last trick up his sleeve, to which he pulls out a small disc from his armor. Beyonder quickly pulls it to him when it suddenly zaps him with electricity. Not only was it effective, but it also disrupted his armor, which Iron Man explains was an old-school computer virus he made from the information he got from his citadel. Iron Man throws him against a wall, but even without his armor, Beyonder proves that he can still stand up to Iron Man and punches him against a wall. Meanwhile, Loki tells them that his energy won't hold for long, but when Doctor Strange is about to use his powers, one of the Ghost Riders breaks through and knocks him down. Loki runs to his side and tells him there isn't much time left, unable to complete it with his powers alone. Doctor Strange claims that he can't cast his magic, who then hands Loki the Eye of Agamotto to activate the Bifrost before losing consciousness. Foster claims that with it, all they need is the spark and calls Thor to use his thunder. Hulk also returns and rejoins the others in battle to defend the Bifrost. Beyonder knocks down Iron Man and tries to convince Loki to join him. Loki claims that despite the tempting offer, he declares to be one of the Avengers and attacks the Beyonder. Iron Man then tries to finish off Beyonder, who bombards him with everything he's got. When they thought they had defeated him, Beyonder emerged from the rubble and used his powers on everyone, restraining them against the wall. With the others subdued, Jane Foster shoots the Beyonder, but her attacks are ineffective, and he retaliates by turning the ground she was on into quicksand. Everyone could do nothing as Foster quickly fell into the quicksand. In a fit of rage, Thor gets a hand free, to which he quickly throws Mjolnir into the quicksand. They were surprised to see Jane emerge, controlling Mjolnir's power. Foster explains that whoever the hammer deems worthy will possess the power of Thor. She then quickly summons a powerful lightning to attack the Beyonder and power up the Bifrost. With the Beyonder defeated, the Avengers later find themselves returning to Asgard, believing that everything has been restored to the way it was. Captain America confirms that even Earth has returned, to which everyone quickly celebrates their victory. Captain Marvel claims that with the Beyonder defeated and the universe saved, she has earned a well-deserved vacation. Thor claims that they couldn't have done it all without the help from Loki, to which he claims he is as surprised as everyone about how things turned out. Doctor Strange then confronts Loki, and despite his help, he demands he return the Eye of Agamotto to him, but Loki refuses and makes a sinister grin. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.